Do this again and again and again until he bought for me some tiny dark toy I barely wanted. I resented him for that. Hated him for that. And when I was 14, Nicholas, my father put me on a boat to America and said, "Goodbye. That's where you're going to live." I was 14, Nicholas. I hated him for that too. Not long after I found out he hit his head on the side of the boat, and they never found him. I went back to my hometown so my mother and my sisters could be my new family. And on Christmas morning, Nick, there they were. All the vendors like they never left. With all their bright blues and reds and oranges and like a rainbow of toys. And I carried your mother in my arms. And any toy she pointed at, I bought for her. And when we came back into our home covered with all these toys, my mother took one good look and said, "That's what your father wished he could do. But we barely had enough to buy food on Christmas. That's why he had to send you away. So you could make for yourself a life he could never give you." See, Nick, I always thought my father was a bastard who wouldn't give me anything. Turns out, Nick, he was giving me all he had. You're going away, aren't you, Nicholas?
There's a moment when I wake up each morning and I don't remember I'm sick. It's like a little gift I get at the start of each day. That night, the first time I told my Emma was when she began to cry. I made her promise not to tell anyone. That's for me to do. It would be so selfish for me to tell him. So selfish. But when you get to be my age, what matters is family. What matters is family. And what's in Seattle? Just some job.
Hey there, Nick.
Oh, hi, Kate.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
So, I'm sorry about what I said the other day. You didn't deserve what I said.
I don't know what it was. Maybe the way she was sitting or the way the light was hitting her face. But at that moment, I had a horrible thought. Could my grandmother actually be right? Could I not really want to move? Could all I need to be happy is just the right woman?
So, on this idea might be moving to Seattle. Something about a job offer?
A promotion, actually, a terrific one.
Great. You know anyone there?
No, just a promotion.
Well then.
Yeah.
It was great seeing you, Nick, but I really have to go. I'm on shift in half an hour and I can't be late. They're Sagano's who need nursing, so.
That's my baby. No, sir. I don't mean maybe. Yes, sir. That's my baby now. That's a nice baby.
Well, alright. If you decide not to go to Seattle, home, a date with no relatives, you're on. But if you decide to go, then go. Sometimes you just have to do it yourself.
Nunzio and I have been together for 55 years. Close your eyes and imagine that. 55 years. But that's what Nicky doesn't understand. By trying to plan out his life so much, by staying away from marriage, he missed that. He'll never know what that's like. How love can deep into places you've never imagined. 55 years.
Hello?
There you are, Nicholas. We're starving.
Why are you so late? God forbid. We thought you had an attack on the bus.
Good thing I was here to take a breath.
Enough. Dinner's waiting. Everything came
Wait, I have this quick announcement to make.
Talk and eat. You're late.
It's important. It's about Seattle.
Go ahead.
Well, last week, when I spent those days here, that was a real special time for me. It just seemed like we talked a little more, like we connected a little better.
Beautiful having you here, Nicholas.
And I'm getting older, so are you. I'd really like for us to spend more time together like that.
Nicky, you're staying.
I'd really like for us to spend more time together like that in the next few weeks. I'm taking the promotion. I need the promotion.
Nicky, Nicholas, don't.
Nah.
How can you, Nicholas? We're here, Nicholas. Everything is here. How can you just leave your family like that? Well, aren't we were thankful? But everyone gets so great. How can you leave? How can you just leave?
Nah. Perhaps.
Well, what do you want me to say now, Nick? Stay, please don't leave us. Go, you have my blessing. I can't say any of that, Nick. Because no matter what I say, what anyone says, you're going to leave us. Everybody goes. I wish I could be more like my father. I wish I could just stand in the store and watch you sail away, but I can't. I work too hard for my family. My family. Oh, I'm not good with saying things, Nick. I just don't want you to go.
Nicky, your grandfather has something to
Emma.
tell you. He has to tell you this, Nicky.
What is it, Gramps? Is something wrong?
Nicky, let me ask you something. And tell me the truth.
I will.
The other day, before you had your attack on the bus, you said something about finding out who you were or what you were
I
about.
was upset then, Gramps. I didn't mean what I'll say.
No, Nicky. One thing I've learned is when people get upset, that's what they mean what they say.
I don't know. I guess.
So, Seattle, this is not just about a job. It's something you feel you have to do to make your life, to be happy.
Yes, Gramps, absolutely.
Okay then.
But you said,
No, nothing.
but what you had to tell me?
What I had to tell you is what I had to say. I will always be there with you. So you be good.
No, we have to
He
tell
has
him.
to go, sweetheart.
But,
He has to go.
Nicky,
Dad?
dinner came beautiful. Mangiamo.
Dad, is something wrong?
Nicky, I really thought you had a chance with Caitlin. I really did.
With all the troubles that changing both jobs and cities brings, I had little time to spend with them those final few weeks. And I wish I knew what the formula was. How much do you owe those who care for you? How can you repay someone for their devotion? Can it ever be enough?
Nicholas, I hope you noticed. In your honor, your grandfather turned on the air conditioner.
Was a beautiful meal, wasn't it, Nicholas?
Stunning, man.
We made all your favorites. You're not going to get a meal like that in Seattle, Nicky.
I know that now.
So, Nicholas, did your grandfather tell you he's selling the car?
No, he didn't mention.
He tried driving to his mandolin lesson the other night, dented the back fender. Guess how? Pulling out the garage. Didn't even make it to the street. Thank God no one was killed. Here, Nicky, before I forget, I got you another map.
I was no left time on that one, man. Gramps, man just told me you're selling the car.
Huh? I was bored with driving.
Great, Gramps. I've been worried about you.
Oh, don't you ever worry about me, Nicholas.
Nicholas, for the plane trip, I made you some lasagna.
Man, I can't take this on the Well, that's me. I'll be back soon, okay? Really soon. So no goodbyes, okay? No goodbyes.
Goodbye, Nick.
Grabs.
I forgot the rules. Goodbye, Nick.
Tengo familia, Nicola. Tengo familia. Go.
Call us when you plan lap, but don't spend any money.
Just let the phone ring twice.
Oh, really something, you know that? I hope you know. I have to do this. I have to.
I love you, Nicholas. Who's hungry?
He just left. How can you think of food now? Maybe just a polo.
I caught my flight, and 6 hours later, I was in Seattle, my new home. My new job, loved it. More responsibility, more challenging. And within a month, I started dating this accounts executive, Teresa, who I immediately knew was really special. A couple months later, I flew back to my grandparents to attend the funeral of my grandfather, Nunzio. He died from prostate cancer, which had spread to his liver and kidneys. My nan told me they had known about it since before I moved, but they didn't think it was right to burden me with it. Burden me? How could they not have said anything at all? If any one of them did, no question, I would have stayed.
A couple of years after Nicholas left, my friend, my baby, passed on. Emma and I shared dinner together every day for nearly a year after that, until she too suffered a severe stroke. God rest them. Well, I still cook 2 meals a day for myself, and I make something a little special on Sunday. And I still see my Nicholas. Because of his job, he flies to New York often, and he always pays his grandmother a visit. Stay for dinner.
Okay. Not long after, I achieved what my grandparents considered to be the greatest accomplishment known to man. I'm married. Tengo familia. And now, when Teresa and I sit home in Portland, awaiting the birth of our first child, my mind often wanders back to those final few days I spent with my grandparents, and how I wish I could neatly sum up who they were, and what they meant to me, and how they fit into the puzzle of my life. But instead, what I know is that they worked every day of their lives to ensure that their family would be more educated and successful than they were. And when I look back, I too see only a vague reflection of myself. But still, they let me go. They got me to laugh. And to this day, I get great food in the mail.
Was a beautiful meal, wasn't it, Nicholas?